Professor Velimati Parkainen. Patrick David Oden, The Transformative Church, Substantiating New Models of Ecclesiality with the Holistic Theology of Jürgen Moltmann.
During my 13-year-long tenure at Fuller, I had a pleasant task to observe the evolvement and development of Patrick into a theological colleague. We first met in the fall of 2000 when I began to teach at Fuller and offered an elective course in pneumatology. Patrick was about to finish his master's degree at Fuller and was involved in church ministry. Then later on, between his master's degree and PhD studies, Patrick also visited my doctoral seminar on Moltmann's theology, and I could instantly see how he fell in love with Moltmann's theology, as much as both of us also continued critiquing Moltmann. When Patrick finally came to the PhD program, he had already published a semi-popular book titled Let's Dance, which is a reflection on Moltmann's theology in dialogue with some emerging church theologies. When the time came to finalize the PhD topic, putting the two themes together, namely Moltmann's theology and emerging churches, was a natural choice. And later on, Patrick also paid a visit to study with Moltmann in Tübingen, Germany. Creative mind, full of enthusiasm for a number of topics, Patrick also wanted to include in his study the liberationist impulse, but he wanted to do it in a very distinctive way, namely how to liberate the oppressor. Usually liberationists seem to help only the oppressed. Although the theme is present in the study, it is only a side note. I advised Patrick to write a separate book on the theology of the liberation of the oppressor, and I'm sure there's already a detailed outline waiting for him. At the same time, I suggest he write a couple of other books on top of publishing his dissertation. This is to say that Patrick was an extraordinary doctoral student. By the time he is graduating, he's already a somewhat experienced academic teacher, published author, and presenter in many academic conferences. His wonderful dissertation earned distinction from one of the experts of emerging church theologies. I'm privileged to commend to you my former student and now my current colleague, Dr. Patrick Oden.
In the end, as Moltmann says, is the beginning. And having finished 5 years now of PhD studies, it's very easy for me to think of new beginnings, new opportunities. But this new beginning isn't the end of a lot of work. It pushes, it drives me to further and deepen my scholarship, continuing to write and teach and discover. There's a lifetime of work ahead indeed, and you can tell I'm already getting a lot of suggestions about what that will be by someone who has modeled quite a bit of scholarship. Putting a lot of pressure on this. I think of the future in light of what has happened over the last years, and I consider the ways that God has worked through this process. I'm indeed filled with joy about what God has done and how He's worked and how He's created opportunities where none seemed possible. And so also I have great hope in what God will continue to do. I want to thank my family, who have been valued friends and encouragement throughout. They've such participants in restoring my faith when I was low or discouraged or didn't see the end or didn't know how it would be possible. They celebrated my successes with me. And they gave me special grace when a assignments were due, and I lost most of my already meager social skills. A lot of grace was required. This is a road we walk together, and I'm immensely grateful for the company. Thank you to the faculty and staff of CATS for how you have all been part of this process in large and in small ways, constantly providing the means to finish and to be very begin. This whole process was made possible by the faculty and staff. And at each point from the very beginning to the end, you introduced me to new authors, new writers, new ways of thinking, constantly pushing and challenging and deepening my understanding and my faith. You created an atmosphere of scholarship that continues to be concerned with God's work in this world. I also want to thank my fellow theology students, who again and again made for stimulating conversation in seminars, outside of seminars, in so many places, and for camaraderie along the way. It is so important when we're all struggling just to keep our heads above water. It is an honor to graduate from a school where such people are gathered and to be included among them. I want to offer special thanks to Delimana Kakainan. He saw a promise in me, and he invited me to pursue PhD studies. His guidance has shaped me into a scholar, freeing me to be in a creative, constructive way. Thank you for your influence and willing to take a risk on me, seeing my potential and pushing for my development, giving space for me to explore the boundaries of my calling, at each point sharpening my efforts. You have been my mentor, and I am proud to also call you my colleague